There's something about lighthouses that make them popular focus points for many ghost stories. The St. Augustine Lighthouse began guiding ships at sea into shore in 1874, and as it stands today is the oldest brick structure in the city. The lightkeeper's house was added to the site in 1876, and was where the lightkeepers and their assistants lived and worked. Today visitors from all over come to view this beautiful beacon, but others come for different reasons. They come to satisfy their curiosity about the paranormal, to discover if the stories they've heard are true and if it's possible that ghosts really do exist. With its long and intriguing past, it's not surprising that the St. Augustine Lighthouse has gained a haunted reputation. Many who visited worked here and others who live close by have reported experiencing something mysterious and just plain eerie. One of the lighthouse's first keepers was a man named Peter. He was known for his meticulous eye and watchful manner of maintaining the lighthouse. He was also known for his love of cigars, and is one of the first ghosts that people report coming in contact with. Over the years, the smell of Peter's cigar has been detected by many, including staff members and guests. Others have seen and heard another keeper named Joshua at the top of the tower, only he passed away more than a century ago. His presence at the lighthouse could be explained by the fact that he fell to his death while painting the outside of the tower. His spirits never left and is often seen looking out from the top. But perhaps the most well-known ghosts of the St. Augustine Lighthouse are those of the two young sisters who passed away on the property. Hezekiah was hired to renovate the tower in the late 1800s. Her daughters Elisa and Mary were playing inside a cart that was being used to carry materials back and forth to the lighthouse. When the cart broke loose, they weren't able to jump out in time and the cart slid rapidly into the bay, plummeting both girls to a watery death. Today and most days since then, the girls can be heard laughing at the top of the tower late at night. Others have spotted Elisa floating around the grounds wearing the same blue dress she died in. Scholars have told us that the first civilization on Earth emerged in a land called Sumer some 6,000 years ago. Recent archaeological findings suggest the Sumerians may have inherited some of their knowledge from an earlier civilization that emerged many thousands of years earlier in southern Africa. More than 100,000 years ago, early humans built a stone calendar that preceded all other man-made structures found to date. This discovery is so astounding that it requires a true shift in our approach to ancient human activity, as it takes us closer to the emergence of the earliest humans on planet Earth. This African Stonehenge, which is known as Adam's Calendar, has created for the first time a link to the countless other stone ruins in southern Africa, and suggests that these ruins are much older than we thought. The complex that covers an area larger than modern-day Johannesburg has emerged as the largest and most mysterious ancient city on Earth. The discoveries of petroglyphs of winged discs and statues of giant birds, some resembling the hawk-headed god Horus, suggest that the prototype Sumerian and Egyptian civilizations had their origins in southern Africa, thousands of years before they emerged in the north. The Blue Ghost Tunnel was only used for 39 years, 11 of which were full-time. Completed in 1876, the tunnel was converted to occasional use in 1887, and closed completely in 1915. Many have questioned how any location so lightly used can gain such a reputation over 100 years later. The Screamin Tunnel was the historic springboard for the Niagara region, a region known for its tunnels because of the trains and the Welland Canal. There's nothing scarier than peering into a dark stone tunnel at night. Combine this with the dark history of the Welland Canal, and you have a place that would be very hard to ignore. The Welland Canal is a river highway for boats travelling between Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. The canal was championed around 1824 by William Hamilton Merritt, former lord of the haunted Merritt House. Historic accidents and much foul play has given the canal a dark energy. All kinds of apparitions have been seen here, including shadow people. These dark figures are one of the most common ghosts to be seen. The village of Bradley has existed for about 1,000 years, counting back from the present. For many years now, it's become a common practice for parents in the village of Bradley and surrounding areas to warn and scare their children that the Black Lady will come and get them if they don't sleep early or wander off. Stories have circulated throughout time of a vision of a ghost in the woods of the village. She is described to be a young and pretty lady with a height of around 5.6 feet. People have different versions, but most of them agree she is wearing a flowing black cloak. However, she seems to be harmless. Instead, she seems to look pitiful as people can see her pale, tear-stricken face. Most people in the village believe that if you go to the woods on Christmas Eve and say, Black Lady, I've stolen your baby," the Black Lady will appear to you. Many have reported seeing the Black Lady. She was seen by cars and passers-by who passed through the woods. She is said to be seen standing near the entrance of the woods. Some have reported that they have seen a lady run in front of their car. When they come up to see who they've hit, there was no one there. A few relate to seeing the lady in a form of a mist. They try to follow, but it leads them to St. George's Church, where the lady disappears through the door. Some say they've only seen a strange light appearing on the bend, while a couple saw a lady dressed in clothing in the 1800s in different shades of grey. The Lake Norman monster is often described as long and serpentine with scaly fins or flippers. The creature has been seen by dozens of witnesses: swimmers, fishermen, campers, water skiers and scuba divers. Descriptions vary in colour and size, but it seems people are definitely seeing something large and frightening in the lake. Lake Norman is a man-made lake located in North Carolina. It's the largest man-made lake in North Carolina with over 500 miles of shoreline and a surface area of 32,500 acres, more than enough for at least one large unknown animal. The Lake Norman creature isn't shy. It's fond of chasing fast boats and often bumps up against water skiers and swimmers. There have even been attacks. A scuba diver reported narrowly escaping a creature with a dog-like head and red eyes that chomped onto one of his flippers. The flipper was lost, but the diver survived. In another incident, a person on a jet ski claimed that a monster surfaced in front of him and brushed up against his leg, leaving a slimy substance that caused an itchy rash. There are several theories to explain the Lake Norman monster. Some believe the creature is none other than a catfish of gigantic proportions. Others think people are seeing a large fish called a bowfish, alligators or possibly large salamanders. Mozzie is an alleged sea monster reported to be living in Muskrat Lake, 75 miles northwest of Ottawa, Ontario, the capital of Canada. The legend has gone through a gradual image change over the years. It's not been decided if Mozzie is a single creature or an entire species. Those who believe it's just one creature often are stumped by its possible gender or appearance in general. In the past, the creature was described as a great serpent with 3 eyes and sharp teeth that towered over its potential prey. Some say it's got 2 horse-like ears on top of its head, with an extra ear between pointing backwards like the reversed unicorn horn. However, the interest of several Mozzie enthusiasts of various professional grades has helped to organise witness accounts and streamline the modern perception of Mozzie that appears less exaggerated. It's now most popularly imagined as an unknown type of marine mammal, sharing traits with a seal or walrus. Local folklore says that while exploring the region over 300 years ago, Samuel de Champlain learned from the natives of the area of a legendary creature that lived in the lake. Though the legend may certainly descend from native lore, no mention is given of it in Champlain's memoirs. Nevertheless, the myth survived with the help from a sign which once welcomed visitors to Cobden. The sign features Champlain holding his famous lost astrolabe, while looking out over Muskrat Lake. In the lake prominently displayed is Mozzie, depicted as having 3 eyes and a long tongue. The sign is inaccurate in many ways, least of all in giving the impression that Champlain had actually encountered the creature. Though the sign has been replaced, its impact is still felt. Champlain is still the traditional starting point for any Mozzie tale. Muskrat Lake, like many other lakes, was formed when the glaciers of the last ice age receded about 10,000 years ago. At that point it was part of the Champlain Sea. Owing to glacial recession, the sea was repeatedly diluted, its sea levels rising and falling over the years, making it brackish. About 6,000 years ago the water levels dropped and the Champlain Sea disappeared. This would have been the last time for any potential sea monster to arrive in the lake. 3 species of shrimp from the Ice Age have been found in the lake, giving rise to claims that more substantial species may have survived in deeper parts of the lake. In the mid-1990s, Mozzie was made the focal point of a Cobden-Ottawa Valley marketing campaign. Flags, windsocks and signs sprung up all around Cobden and the entire Ottawa Valley. There was talk of offering a $1 million prize for Mozzie's capture. The plan never saw fulfillment, but every year visitors in the area do often try to search for it. No one has yet captured evidence of its existence. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.